Tell me when we're on. All right, it being 1:30, we're going to begin today's proceedings before the Special Magistrate for Code Enforcement for the City of Palatka. By way of introduction, my name is Ron Brown. I am an attorney licensed in the state of Florida, and pursuant to state statute and county code, I've been appointed by the City Commission of the City of Palatka to preside over today's proceedings. This is not a formal court of law. We are not required to follow the formal rules of evidence or the formal rules of civil procedure as you would find in a regular judicial proceeding. We are required under state law to follow the basic rules of due process, which is basically fairness, opportunity to be heard, opportunity to ask questions, opportunity to respond to any allegations that the city may have regarding any of the issues at hand. The only requirement that the law requires regarding some of the proceedings is that the evidence be sworn. And one of the standards is substantial and competent evidence must be used to satisfy the requirements of the hearing. And that evidence is such that a reasonable person could reach a conclusion on a pretty standard basis. And the requirement is that it be sworn. So I'm going to ask everyone at this time who's going to be testifying today, if you would please stand. And I see Mr. Cutright, Mr. Green, and what is your name for the record, please? And you are, okay, they're both here. And raise your right hand, please take the following oath. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you shall give today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And let the record show that all the respondents have responded in the affirmative. We're going to take the cases in accordance with the agenda, unless somebody is here as a respondent. We do have a respondent apparently for the first case. And I'm making sure I got the right one. This is Burke and Rawls, correct?
No, sir. The first one is 215 Michelle.
Well, are that who they belong to?
Sir.
Is that who they are?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is Buck.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it right. And that's you. That's you. All right, make sure we got everybody here. What's going to happen today, the city's going to be making a presentation regarding the alleged violation. I may have some questions during the course of that presentation. They'll give their assessment of what ordinance they claim is violated, and then what the evidence is in support of that violation. Respondent will have a chance to make any comments you may wish to make, any evidence you wish to present, and ask any questions you wish to ask. At the conclusion of the hearing, I'll make an assessment and make a determination whether a violation exists, and if one is, whatever type of compliance is going to be required, and if a fine is appropriate. And just for the record, fines don't start accruing like today. There's a grace period before a fine would begin. But that's something that'll be established in the course of the hearing. So we'll be very straightforward and open about this. So we'll begin with case 2022-56. I have it as Michelle D. Buck, property located at 215 South 4th Street in Palatka, and Ms. Buck is present. All right, Mr. Green.
Yes, sir. The first observed case was 11/29/2022.
Hang on just a second, just so you know, all the evidence is going to be seen up here. If you have any trouble seeing it, please let us know. We'll get you a paper copy. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The first observed was 11/29/22. Notice of hearing was said 12/22/22. The complex posting was 1/7/23. The site posting was 12/22/22. The violation is municipal code 3169, building fronts and sides of abutting streets of public areas. Description of the violation is deteriorating paint.
Okay. And this is, again, let me make sure I got the code section correct. 30-169.
Yes, sir.
And you're citing the part of it that talks about all deteriorated structural and decorative elements visible from a public right-of-way should be repaired or replaced. Every part of such structure visible from a public right-of-way or abutting a street should be made structurally sound. Every part should be clean of graffiti, litter, dirt, other debris. The surfaces were once painted or stained, not more than 10% of the surface may be free of paint or stain.
Yes, sir.
Is that where you are? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Show me what you have. Let me ask, first of all, we have Ms. Buck here, so she's gotten notice of the hearing. I noticed that the certified letter return receipt for the Postal Service was not signed. Okay. Is this address 114 Martin Street, Palatka? That's a correct address for you? Go ahead. Yeah, go up there.
The first notice I got was before the holidays. What was it, November 29th, I think?
Yes,
Did I
that was
get-
the
did I-
voluntary compliance letter, Mr. Brown.
Correct. So I received that and I called up here and I spoke to David and he kind of enlightened me how the process works.
Well, the reason I asked the question is that I've got one address that shows a Flora home address.
Yes, that was,
That's where I live. That's
Okay,
where I
and then
live.
another, the green card showed a Palatka address.
That's the house address.
that's the house, yes.
They serve
And I
both.
was supposed to say 114 Martin Street, but one says Flora home and one says Palatka. Okay, but you didn't get either one. How'd you know about this?
No, I received the first notice
Okay,
that I was in violation. That's the other one regarding the hearing. I was on vacation. I come back to my mailbox. I had two to pick up. And one was a hearing that I missed in December, but I hadn't received it obviously. And now it's the hearing now.
Yes, sir.
well, for whatever reason, the postal service decided that when
They-
completing the green card, that this address was in Palatka, but nonetheless, you're here.
I don't know
You-
if I'm here.
You can stay up there if you like. I'm trying to take a look at what you're showing. Okay, Mr. Green, proceed.
This is just a picture of the house from the road.
Now, this is from Fourth Street.
Yes, sir. This is 1/8. This was taken November 21st, 22.
Okay, so this is just the paint peeling.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
This is 1B, January the 16th, 23.
It's the pressure wash.
Yes, sir. Yes,
can you see that from Fourth Street?
yes, sir.
Okay,
This is 2A taken November 21, 2022. And this is 2B taken January the 16th, 2023.
Okay.
This is 3A taken November 21st, 2022. As you see the paint peeling, deteriorated paint. And this is 3B taken January the 16th, 2023. And this was November 21, 2022, 4A. And this is January the 16th, 2023, 4B.
so you got mold, flaking paint.
Yes, sir. She pressure washed it, so
There's no more, it's just so wet.
Well, let me ask you that. Yeah, and if I were to find a violation, exactly what does the respondent need to do to bring it into compliance?
she needs to pressure wash to get the rest of the paint off, either pressure wash or sand. And depending on what the historic board says, she can stain it or she can paint it. All the exposed wood could be painted or stained.
Does it have to be painted?
It doesn't have to be painted, it could be sealed. Like I said, that's up to her, between her and the historic board.
Okay. Is there any kind of permit required for this?
I wouldn't know.
No, so my contractor's already checked into that.
Well, the reason I ask, what's the city asking for in terms of compliance time?
It's just that the code enforcement is asking to
Yeah.
remove all the paint, either stain it
How much time do you want to give her?
60 days.
Can that be done?
Yeah.
But speaking to it, Ms. Walsh, the planning director, she said that she could probably make a decision with the historical board to kind of help speed the process up to give them. So we do think 60 days is enough time to get this done.
Because the reason I'm asking, if you want 60 days for her to complete the project, including permitting, can that be done realistically? And I understand it's gotten here. There have been some efforts to try to get this resolved. Lisa?
Lisa Welsh, Planning Director. Exterior paint on a house is something that I can approve at the staff level, so I can turn that permit, it's called a certificate of appropriateness that's required if you're in the historic district. I can turn that around in a couple of days.
Okay.
The paint colors only have to be consistent with the Secretary of the Interior standards for historic places.
And the only reason I bring it up, I just want to make sure there's some kind of reasonable time frame they can
Right.
get this done. Okay. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
You're looking for 6 days. All right, your turn.
Pardon me, ma'am. So for purposes of your statement about your contractor not needing a permit, that is correct. They don't need a building permit, but they do need a certificate of appropriateness because you are in a historic district.
That's on the storage side.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. For paint.
I have to have a permit.
Are you?
You have to
Okay,
have-
hey, guys,
Yeah.
okay, listen, we're, just, you know, this is a hearing and we're making a record, so we need to make sure everybody gets on the line. All right. So the city's looking for 60 days, that is at the end of business on March 18th, 2023.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Burke? Anything you'd like to add?
No.
Well, let me ask you this, how long has this been going on? The city's been trying to get contact with her and trying to resolve this issue.
I would, not to speak for Mr. Green here, but I know the history. This young lady has really been proactive in doing things since we notified her of the violation that came to us. So I would say, since we've been notified about the violation, she's been due diligent, and it's been a couple months, and that's just the process.
All right. I mean, you've been acting, you think she's been acting in good faith about
Yes.
this? Okay.
May I add to that?
Sure.
Thank you. Like I said, I had just purchased the property. I haven't owned the property very long, and then I was in that accident. I was in ICU. Took a long time to recover. Then I found out I was November, what was it, 29th, I think is when, which was like about 6 weeks ago, I found out that that house was in violation. Not that I wasn't planning to paint it or anything. So that kind of sped it up. Then we had the holidays, and trying to find someone willing to paint a 2-story house is not that easy. It was an act of Congress to get someone in there, with the help of my son, to get it pressure washed. We're not even there. I don't even know if I can get anyone to do all this within 60 days because they make it it's a huge project. It's not the run of the mill 1-story house. So there is a little process. I hope that I could do that. I would love to see it done next week. I hate to promise that, but I guess if I cannot do it within 60 days, I can request another hearing, I'm assuming.
I'll give you an observation, not my call. I'm just a magistrate. I don't get to make
Yes.
decisions about how the city runs its business.
Right.
My observation has been that the city usually doesn't bring these matters before me unless they're trying to ensure some motivation to get something done.
Correct.
And so they're putting a deadline on some action.
Right.
What you do not want to have happen is have a fine start clicking in.
Absolutely.
Today. Because that could eventually turn into a lien.
That's
And
my call.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
let it say.
so I'm going to find it appropriate to enter an order that there's a violation of section 3169 due to the deteriorating paint on the sides of the building seen from 4th Street.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Before you find, but we don't give her the 90 days, so it should be April 17th. So we'll give her the
Talked
90
him
days.
into it. There you go. 90 days.
Perfect. Thank you.
April 17th, sir.
Okay.
And that would be the final day for compliance. And we would do an evaluation on the 18th.
Okay.
That being said,
April, you said.
so we'll find the violation 169. We'll enter order finding that violation based on the evidence showing the deterioration of the paint on the building seen from 4th Street. The respondent will have 90 days from today's date, tomorrow being the first day. That is until the end of business on Monday, April 17th, 2023, to maintain compliance, which is basically getting the appropriate permit and taking care of the.
Yeah, because I know what she's speaking of. I gotta check on that.
Keep Mr. Green informed of where your progress is. The one thing that will cause more strife than anything is just not doing anything or having difficulty
Ignore it.
and not consistent with them. Because it's up to them to decide when the compliance is there.
Absolutely. That's why I called him when we.
Right, and you'll get an order by certified mail at the address of record. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Next case, 2022-55, Ruth Burke and Dawn M. Rawls as joint tenants with right of survivorship, property located at 221 South 4th Street in Palatka. And you are again, Miss
Dawn Rawls.
Dawn Rawls.
Yes.
Thank you for coming today. And this is an alleged violation also of section 30-161 of municipal code regarding buildings, fronts and sides abutting streets or public areas. I presume the street is South 4th Street. Again, deteriorating structure, paint deterioration, mold and mildew. Mr. Green?
yes, sir. It was first observed 11/29/2022. The notice of hearing was sent out 12/22/22. Complex posted was 1/7/2023. Site posted was 12/22/22. The violation is 130/169, 30-169, building front and side, as well as speak the public area description of the violation, deteriorating instruction, paint deteriorating and molded mildew.
And let me ask, again, the address, is the correct address for you, Ms. Rawls, the 2510 Krill Avenue, Palatka 32177?
Yes.
Okay. They didn't get the certified mail there. I'll just make sure that was the correct address.
No, last month's hearing was, I got it the day after the hearing.
Right. He did post the property, Mr. Greens, that's also correct. And you have your affidavit of service included in the motion. Okay. And thank you for coming again. It's always nice to have the respondent present. Okay, Mr. Green, show me what's wrong with this building, 30-169, building fronts and sides, deteriorating structure, paint deterioration, mold and mildew. Further sections of 30-169 are included in the record. Ms. Hughes is going to get us oriented. Okay. And Mr. Green, did you take all these photographs you're about to show us?
Yes, sir.
And do they accurately represent the condition of property and date in which you took them?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This is just a picture from 4th Street of the house.
So what's wrong?
This is a
Okay.
picture A.
Specifically, what needs to be done to this section of the house?
The deteriorating paint removed and rotten weakened wood, and some boards are kicked out, so for that's deteriorating structure.
Okay.
But this is 1B. This was taken January 16, 2023.
It's the same section of the house?
Yes, sir. This is 2A 11/21/22.
All right, so we're not talking about the roof.
No, sir.
Are we talking about the soffit?
Yes, sir. And the banister, I guess.
Okay. Is that rotten or is just?
Trim boards.
Trim
That's
board.
trim.
That's where they done some pressure washing and
Okay,
down there with a fence at.
so that's structurally okay. You're looking, all structural issues are the fencing, the balustrade?
And this is 2B. This was taken January 16. 2023.
Okay.
And this is 3A. This is taken 11/21/2022.
Are those stone bases on those columns?
Yeah.
Interesting. Architectural feature. I don't see a lot of that in town.
This is 3B. It will take it January 16, 2023.
Okay, on this one, is it basically the deteriorating paint?
Yes, sir.
What about the section between the top of the columns and the bottom of the balustrade?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that just paint there?
Yes, sir.
Is that balustrade in good shape?
I
Balcony?
wouldn't, I'm not a building inspector, Mr.
Well, I'm going to ask you when this is over, exactly what you want her to do, so. All right, please proceed.
This is 4A, it's showing the mold and mildew on the stones.
Okay. And this is also viewed from 4th Street?
Yes, sir. This is 4B, January 16, 2023. And this is 5A taken November 21, 2022.
Okay.
And this is 5B taken January 16, 2023.
Okay. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
All right, again, precisely what is it that the respondent would have to do to bring this into compliance according to the city?
Remove the deteriorating paint and the mold and mildew.
Does that mean they have to repaint it?
Yes, sir, with a nice even coat of paint, uniform coat of paint.
All right. What about the porch? It looks like the structural issues, the
Yes,
porch
sir.
area. What on the porch needs to be addressed?
Yes, sir.
What on the porch? What does she
The,
need to?
the porch right there, we put the decorative elements back, paint them, and at the bottom with the blue strip out, I guess, nail the
Really?
porch back in.
One at a time. She's gonna get a chance. I'll make sure I understand. The balustrades, they all need to be replaced?
No, sir, just the one that's missing.
Okay. And the porch deck, okay?
I wouldn't know, sir.
You don't have that, that's not on your agenda then, so that's not an issue. And what about the section between the bottom of the porch?
Yes, sir, with the boards kicked out, I maybe nailed them back down, remove the paint and repaint it with a nice uniform coat of paint.
All right. So basically, replace the missing staves in the balustrade and paint it. Clean it and paint it.
Yes, sir.
All right. How much time do you want to give her for this?
60 days.
Okay. Okay. Ms. Rawls?
So
Yeah,
obviously-
you got a house they want you to paint. What do you think?
Obviously, the same neighbor code violated both of us at the same time because she's so kind. I have a painter. And I have my certificate of appropriateness for the color approval for that. However, I'm on the painter's schedule and I have yet, as of today, been able to get a hold of the painter to see where I'm at on that schedule. Removing or replacing the missing boards and fixing the trim is not a problem. But we will get that done as soon as I can get on the painter's schedule.
How about this, Mr. Cutright, can you go 90 with her also, just to give her some room?
It is a wonderful year, so yes, I go next.
All right, so what we're gonna do, unless you have something else you want to add to it.
No.
Yeah, I want to find
We're good.
we're good. Just, and for what it's worth to you, I wish I could tell you that neighbors don't complain, but they do.
Well, this
And
neighborhood,
I'm not guessing you get into it, just don't take it personally, it's just,
well, it is kind of personal. My father passed in October and she knew about it. And I asked her for her good graces to give me until January. So she thought she wanted it done in December because her house is for sale. And it's just disrespect. That's all.
well, and my suggestion to you is the same suggestion I gave to Ms. Buck, and that is stay in touch with
Oh, yeah.
both of them about where you are, show a lot of good faith effort
Oh, yeah.
to try to get this done. I think they will work with
If
you
I
and
could
you work with.
a painter.
I understand.
Me.
Okay, hang on. We're gonna find a violation 30-169 due to the deterioration of the paint on the sections of the building seen from South Fourth Street. And the need to replace the missing staves on the porch balcony balustrade. We'll find the violations exist in an order requiring the property brought into compliance within 60 days, 90 days of today's hearing, that date being by the end of business on Monday, April 17th, 2023. In the event of non-compliance, a fine of $25 a day will commence until compliance occurs. And do your best. I understand the problems of getting, painters. Like I said, make sure you keep them informed about what's going on. I think you'll find them cooperative. Okay, you'll get a letter at your mailing address.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for both for coming today. Are we done off the hearing?
Everything.
That's it. We off the hearing?